think they should all be here.
Kaveh?
Traveler?
Alhaitham.
Paimon? Are you in there? Could you come outside for a sec?
Look at this.
What's your dragon's name?
What the? What's this sword doing here? Is it supposed to keep out intruders?
Evidently.
Please don't ask.
Huh? Who is it?
That's never the dual blade. That's the what? That's the silver sword. Those voices, I recognize them.
Paimon's gonna take out the sword. Yeah!
What, Paimon? What are you doing? I'm going back to sleep.
Alhaitham, Kaveh, what are you doing
Traveler's
here?
literally me.
Night?
Why'd they come all the way out here?
Sorry to wake you up at this hour of the night, but we've got a situation on our hands.
Would you look at the...
Let's get dressed and talk about it outside.
Something has come up. And since it pertains to Cyrus and Cyno, I deemed it essential to inform you all.
Okay.
Whoa, back up. Let's start from the beginning. Huh? Where'd the wine cups go? I could have sworn I left them here after I washed them. Ah, there they are.
I'll have a cup too.
The boyfriends are still living with each other.
Can you see if the cookies are still on the table?
And they're actually being peaceful for once.
They are. And so are the fruits.
Oh, this is so bland. I should have gotten a few bottles of what Cyno's group was drinking last night.
Do tell. What were they drinking?
Oh, right, I forgot to mention. So, I ran into Cyrus yesterday evening when I went to the tavern to pick up some things. He was hosting a dinner for Cyno, Tighnari,
If Alhaitham's one that
Kaveh,
catches
and the
on to
Traveler
Cyrus
and
being
Paimon.
sus, then I will not be surprised.
Anyway, they got a bottle of Lombard's new vintage for the table. At least, I think that's what it was. It looked pretty good.
Sounds like they're all tangled up in this.
You know what it's about, right? 16-year-old kid tried to extort Cyrus. He was asking for 10 million mora.
I heard some people talking about it on the streets, yes. Didn't take them long to catch the culprit. The sages are probably dealing with the case by now.
I wonder what Sir Nephis and the others will make of it. Oh, Cyrus showed me the extortion letter, too. It was crudely written, but the paper had this beautiful pattern on it that I've never seen before.
Oh, thank
It
you.
really caught my eye.
That was the first thing that caught my eye
Give
as
me a
well.
sec,
It wasn't
I'll
even the
sketch it out
writing.
for you.
It was the pattern. Which makes me think, I think that guy that was threatening him just... Not exactly completely innocent. The person that started the rumor is the source behind everything, and that's the person we gotta find out. And I think I know who it is.
Okay, done. Take a look.
I think Alhaitham's gotta catch on to him.
You see what I mean? I don't think I've ever seen writing paper like this around before. God knows where the culprit got it from.
Interesting. These are all motifs associated with the tribes of the desert.
So it's a desert person.
What? Really?
Take this, for instance. Looks like an outline of a spire, similar to the kind found on some ancient palaces.
You only see that in the
And the
desert.
crisscrossing and mirroring
You've never seen
here.
it in the forest.
I recognize that too. It bears a striking resemblance to an ancient emblem, one that hasn't been used in a very long time.
Huh.
Whose emblem is it?
It's the emblem of the Temple of Silence.
Oh! Temple of Cyno. Isn't that where Cyno's from?
After discussing it with each other, we both agreed that something didn't feel right. So we went looking for you. This was a long way to come from the city. Alhaitham figured you were probably with Tighnari, so Gandharvaville was our first stop. but the Forest Watchers told us that you'd gone camping.
Let's call in Cyno.
Then, just as we were heading off to the campsite, we ran into Cyno. He said he was on a supply run. We exchanged a few words, and then he ran off.
He had to recognize
Hold
it.
on. So what's the deal with that emblem you were talking about? The Temple of Silence, you said? What is that? Should we be worried?
Isn't that where Cyno's
Is
from?
everything okay? Give me a second. Let me get Kaveh.
Tighnari, you were just having a discussion about everything and you... Okay.
So you've never heard of the Temple of Silence? Well, to put it simply, it's an organization that has existed in Sumeru for over 1,000 years.
That's where Cyno's from.
These days, you can find a Temple of Silence office in the Academia. Theoretically, it's responsible for the custody and
I actually
disposal of
recognize that
information
from
and documents
the
not
faction
fit
that he
for
was
public dissemination.
that he was
At
associated with when he
least,
was first
that's what they tell
shown.
the outside world. In truth, it's essentially a vestigial institution nowadays. There's an office with their name on it, but it's functionally obsolete. Historically speaking, the original Temple of Silence is said to have been established by
Herman
Hermanubis,
Nubis.
one of the 7 pillars of King Deshret and the greatest of all sages. Most of the organization's
pillars
members
from
hail
Deshret.
from the desert. By contrast, none of the Academia Temple's current members are from the desert region, nor do they use any symbols connected with the desert folk.
So the Temple of Silence at the Academia is just a fake? Wow.
It's possible. The real question is, why? My guess is they're covering something up.
So, how do you know all this? Sounds like some pretty top secret stuff.
Alhaitham would know all this. He's the
Did you
most
forget?
knowledgeable.
He did a stint as acting Grand Sage, and kept the pay raise even after he resigned.
Oh, yeah! Paimon did totally forget about that. So you took
course
the
he
chance
did.
to read all the top secret documents
You
while you
expect
were
anything
acting
less of
Grand
him?
Sage, huh?
If you're asking me whether I familiarized myself with the documentation in my office, I would respond that that's a perfectly normal part of any job.
Yeah.
So much about this doesn't make sense. Why did the emblem of the Temple of Silence appear on a threat letter from an Academia student to Cyrus?
It's almost as if that
Student's
student
only
was
16
associated with someone.
and doesn't have any family ties to the desert. So where could he have seen that emblem, or gotten the paper?
You said you ran into Cyno, yes? Did you tell him what you've just told us?
I don't think he had to. Cyno already knows.
He ran off as soon as he heard what we said.
I'm pretty sure Cyno would
Given
recognize that emblem
Cyrus is
immediately.
involved, he's probably halfway through solving the case by now. Still, we should try to catch up with him. At this hour of the night, Cyno will probably go looking for Cyrus at his current residence.
If the Academia's Temple of Silence really does exist just to cover up the truth, the sudden appearance of this emblem can't be good. It's sure to stir up trouble. We should pay a visit to the Academia.
Yes. As the Sage of Amorta, my master ought to know the truth about their office. You can ask him to tell you what he knows. The more information we have, the better prepared we'll be for whatever happens there.
If this situation is connected to the real Temple of Silence, the emblem has to be part of a bigger conspiracy.
Kaveh, could I trouble you to send a message to the Core of 30? Tell them to keep an eye out for Cyno and Cyrus. Traveler, Paimon, you two come with me. We'll go after Cyno.
Sounds like a plan. Let's go.
Cyrus has been living in the city lately. He rented a place near the field so he can keep an eye on his tomato plants.
Then let's go look for him there.
Here we are. This is the place.
We might be too late. Looks like nobody's home. Oh, Cyno moves fast. If he was here, he's probably long gone by now.
I know that voice. Is that Tighnari I
Oh, it's the
hear?
Hahadi.
Ah! Professor Zahahadi!
Wow, so it really is you. My goodness, whatever is going on tonight?
We're looking for Cyno. So, he's already been here.
Yes, not long ago, in fact. He knocked on my door and asked if I'd seen Cyrus today at all. I told him the old fool left early this morning, and I hadn't heard him come back. So we went to his place, and would you believe it? He's gone. Goodness knows where to. It must have alarmed Cyno, because he took off in an awful hurry after that. He never did explain what this was all about. How serious is it?
Well, if Cyrus isn't at home... Oh, it sure doesn't sound good.
Professor, did you hear that a student recently tried to extort Cyrus?
Why, yes. When I left the house that day, I noticed he was watering his flowers in the field in complete silence. He had a piece of paper clutched in his hand, and he looked lost in thought. I could tell something was troubling him, but he wouldn't tell me what it was. If Cyno hadn't happened to visit him that day, he'd probably still be holding on to that thing. After seeing the letter, Cyno told him to contact the Core of 30, but Cyrus was very reluctant. He claimed it would only damage his reputation.
Okay, yeah, so Cyrus is
Eventually,
extremely sus.
He relented.
Okay.
After much persuasion from Cyno.
Huh? Cyrus didn't want to report it? Well, that's strange. When we saw him, he seemed pretty okay with the idea of the kid getting his just desserts.
Maybe if he has something to hide,
It's possible Cyrus still has enemies.
he doesn't want
at
to
the
implicate himself at all.
That's why Cyno was so insistent that he report the matter to the authorities. I was there while they were going back and forth over it.
So Cyrus initially hoped to stop this from going public. But why?
He only reported because Cyno forced him to, meaning Cyrus must know something about the Temple of Silence.
Oh dear, what on earth has that old fool gotten himself wrapped up in? Oh, I do hope he's not in danger. Oh, I almost forgot. Cyno left me this letter to pass on to you. He wrote it when he came by earlier. He realized you might come looking for him.
Thank you.
What does it say? Let Paimon take a look.
My friends, this is a rather complicated state of affair. Fortunately, I cannot disclose more than that. I ask you to understand that I have to act alone at this stage. Don't come after me.
My friends, this is
What?
a rather complicated state of affair. Unfortunately, I cannot disclose more than that. I ask you to understand and accept that I had to act alone at this stage. Don't come after me.
Yep, that sounds like Cyno. Thank you, Professor. Please do not worry. We will do all we can to protect both Cyno and Cyrus. Traveler, Paimon, let's head to the Academia and regroup.
Yeah. No, I'm still trying to figure out the dragon's name again, but because I'm an idiot. I think the person that started the rumor, and of course, I'm assuming, because I do remember that I think Masano was not drip marketed, but when the trailer came out and like all the descriptions about Masano came out, the one thing that caught my eye was the Temple of Silence, and they never visited that topic ever. Or like they tried to visit like one time in Sumeru, and I don't think it was in the main story quest either. So they now come back to it. I think Sano's from the Temple of Silence, and the person that started the rumor said those, I'm assuming, is also from the Temple of Silence. It will make a lot of sense. And I know that Satos is involved because trailer showed him. So, like, obviously I would assume, you know, Satos has something to do with this. They're both in the Temple of Silence, the actual Temple of Silence. And could
You're
Cyrus be
here?
involved with
I
them?
thought you were going after... Ah, I guess you lost their trail.
We went to Cyrus's house. No one was there. Cyno got there before us, but he was long gone by the time
Also,
we
isn't
left.
Cyrus the inventor from
Didn't say
Mondstadt?
where he was
Like,
going?
No, he left us a letter told us not to go after him.
Are the two Cyruses? Or is the Cyrus just a made-up
Can't say
name
I'm
that he came up
surprised.
with?
Typical Cyno. Anyway, some updates on progress on our end. I drew the emblem from memory again, but in more detail this time.
Yeah, there we go. That's the desert. That's a civilization right there.
I checked some ancient texts for a similar design. The one I found was a little blurry, but the similarities in the general form and certain details were clear enough to confirm a match.
Yeah, and we're lucky we found anything at all. It turns out the emblem was all but lost to history. We scoured the entire Academia collection, and that book was the only one with a record of the motif.
Meanwhile, Arav managed to get Uraka to disclose his source. The one who told him about Cyrus's embezzled funds was a young man from the desert. According to
There we
Uraka,
go.
he had a striking presence and was well educated.
Apparently, the two met in the tavern over a game of cards. The guy claimed to be in the city for business, as part of a merchant caravan. Uraka was intrigued when he heard what his new acquaintance had to say, and brought up the idea of extorting Cyrus for Mora.
There we
The
go.
guy encouraged him to go ahead with it, then handed him some pen and paper.
So
to
Rocco's not
embroider.
necessarily a messenger per
I
se, but
see.
he was basically just,
So it could be that this person planted the paper intentionally.
So, how do we find this guy?
Rocco's well, just
Did
nothing more
Uraka
than an
say where he
extension
is?
of
He doesn't
Celtus's
know.
plan.
He claims not to have seen him since that day in the tavern. The man gave him some tips on how
I'm
to
convinced
carry out
that's
the
Celtus though.
extortion.
It can only be
From then
Celtus.
on, Uraka was acting alone.
Nephis and Arav have gone to meet the Core of 30 and review the city's entry and exit records. Also, Nephis admitted that the Temple of Silence in the Academia is just a facade. The true Temple of Silence once came to the rainforest to establish a collaboration with the Academia. But, as time went by, the sages gradually became corrupt and foolish. The Temple of Silence felt that they could no longer trust the Academia and ended the partnership. They retreated back to the desert about 400 years ago. Ever since its inception, the Temple of Silence has been the guardians of King Deshret's civilization and belief system. They traveled throughout Sumeru, sequestering and guarding any wisdom that posed a threat to the people's livelihoods.
Interesting.
At its roots, it was a legitimate and reputable organization whose purpose was to guide people towards the right path.
The academia of the day knew that the split would damage their reputation if it became a matter of public knowledge. And so, they set up a dummy organization of their own to conceal the truth.
Not only that, but they managed to keep up the charade for hundreds of years.
So how did Cyrus become acquainted with the true Temple of Silence if they left centuries ago?
I'll bet that's the question that bothered Cyno. Probably why he went after him in such a rush.
Whoever is behind this, getting Uraka to extort Cyrus was only the first step of the plan. Their true goal in doing so was for Cyrus to see the emblem on the letter.
He must have
A calling
recognized
card,
it
maybe?
right away. That'll be why he didn't want to involve the authorities. He probably hoped to take care of the whole thing by himself. Unfortunately for him, Cyno had other plans.
Since the desert is where the Temple of Silence originated, that is in all likelihood where Cyrus went.
I have to go after him.
Really? Are you sure that's a good idea, with how you respond to the heat? Why don't we send someone else?
Why don't we
I
just
should
wait
be
till
fine, as long
nighttime
as I
and
bring
then...
plenty of water. Besides, I just can't shake this ominous feeling that if we don't catch up to them soon...
Everyone, I have news from the Core of 30.
Oh. Oh shoot, we're meeting Nephis.
Master,
Oh, so that's Nafis, Tighnari's master? Oh, we're finally getting to meet him in person.
Yeah, also, this is the first time they even name dropped them, so there's a lot of Sumeru stuff that we're just getting randomly here now that was never explored previously. Hello.
It's a pleasure to meet you, traveler and
Oh my god, those glasses.
Several independent eyewitnesses have reported seeing Cyrus and Mahamatra
My man's
Cyno
pulling up
leaving the
Pandoria
city
right
at
now.
different times. Both were heading in the direction of Caravan Rebat.
Oh shoot.
I was going to suggest that you join forces with the Core of 30 in this case. However, as I'm sure you've already heard from Alhaitham and Kaveh, the Temple of Silence is involved. The Academia has made a number of decisions throughout history that I am ashamed to talk about. It may well be that no better choice was available to them, but those actions are nonetheless a stain on our legacy. I won't attempt to make you understand the Academia's perspective. Now is the time for action.
I understand where you're coming from.
Also,
Master.
when did we learn about the
But
Temple of
I'm
Silence
afraid
in the
the
past?
situation might be more
Like,
complicated
is
than
it just
we
through
thought.
some random store quest that
I
I've kind of
think
forgotten about?
We need to keep a low profile, or risk making things worse.
Good point. If Cyrus is involved,
Yeah, I
on
mean,
the
they
other
acknowledged
side,
it in
or worse, if he's
the
fallen
character
into their
information when they
hands.
tweeted it out, but never in game.
Everyone, we have to get Cyrus and Cyno back safely. We cannot afford to lose them.
Need our help? Whatever you need, we got you covered.
Really? Wonderful. You have my most sincere gratitude. Arav and I will continue to follow up on the lead from Uraka. Kaveh, Scribe Alhaitham, I'd like to ask you to cover the duties of the House of Dana.
I guess Tighnari and I will go
Tighnari,
chase them down.
You are planning to go into the desert, correct?
I am. Kaveh, I'll be okay. You stay behind to help Master and Alhaitham.
Well, if you're sure. Okay. But be careful.
This is looking more like a Tighnari story quest Act 2
Thank
than
you all.
Cyno story quest Act 2.
Arav, let's go.
You'd better get moving. Don't forget to ask for help when you need it.
Will do. Let's go, Tighnari. Hopefully we can catch up with Cyno before it's too late.
Knowing him, he's probably covered a fair distance already, but we still have a shot. Let's take it.
Also, off chance that we get to the domain and we end up playing as Cyno. No, this is an active kill the story quest. I'm not going to do the whole kill the bio thing because I'm pretty sure I already done a kill the bio thing for Cyno. Not clean one, but it's still something.
Okay, we made it to Caravan Ribat. Where should we go next? Maybe we should ask the nearby guards if they've seen anything.
Hold on. Look over there.
Cyno, Daya, and Candace.
You sure you want to brave the desert alone? I mean, it's your choice at the end of the day, but still.
It's not my first time. I'll be fine.
Yeah, we're getting the entire Sumeru
Cyno.
crew in here. We're getting a Sumeru
If you're
Primero.
really going to go through with this, then at least take our advice. When you're packing for your trip, budget for 5 days more than you plan to spend out there.
We haven't seen
Makes sense.
Candace in a while.
Okay, I'll go get ready.
Thought we might find you here.
Sup?
You're trying to retrace Cyrus's steps, aren't you?
Didn't I tell you not to come after me? I thought I had a good lead on you.
You wish.
Sorry, but we never agreed to that. Why would you go off on your own like this?
Nothing personal. It's just a complex situation. And I'd rather not involve anyone else if I can help it.
Takes a special kind of person to get Cyno chasing them all the way out to Caravan Ribat. But why so coy today, huh? You only gave us his age and description. Why can't you reveal his name? Is he Sumeru's most wanted or something? Oh, also, hey guys, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been.
Dia and Candace! So nice to see you. Actually, seeing all of our friends is the whole reason we're here.
You're looking well. Glad to see it.
Thanks.
Candace and I came to Caravan Ribat on business. We ran into Cyno as he was asking about some elderly gentleman's whereabouts. Some people say they saw him. Guess he stood out as an older guy heading into the desert alone with just a sumpter beast in tow and very few supplies. That's gotta be one heck of a story there.
Cyno, it's okay if you can't tell us anything about the case, but let us know how we can support you. We're here to help however you need. The more people we have working on this, the quicker we'll be able to find the person you seek.
No, it's not that simple. If I'm right, he'll be doing everything he can to avoid us.
We spoke with Zaha Hadid. From what she said, it's pretty clear that he wants to try and solve this on his own. It won't be easy trying to find him in the desert when he's deliberately trying to cover his tracks.
Sounds like this is far more complex than we imagined.
Still, if he started from Caravan Rebot, the chances are that his route took him past our village. You may as well ask if anyone there has seen him.
My thanks to you both. Once this is resolved, I will find a way to repay you.
Ah, come on. No need to get all serious. Just buy a round of drinks next time we're all in the city or something.
That's a deal.
All right, so, you all set?
Yes, we'll handle it from here. Thank you again for your help. I don't take it for granted.
All right, then we'll leave you to it. Just remember, if you change your mind and need some reinforcements, we'll be here.
And don't think you'd be imposing. You can depend on us.
Don't worry, we'll keep him out of trouble.
Cyno should count himself lucky that the Traveler and Tighnari got here when they did. What was he thinking, trying to play the lone hero?
The desert tests the character of all who enter it, and only those with wisdom and courage shall prevail. But take heart. With his companions by his side, no harm will come to Cyno.
What was that glitch?
Hold on. There's a few things I'd like to clear up.
Go on.
So, after you left the campsite, we had a longer talk.
Clearly, we've only scratched the surface of the Temple of Silence question. It doesn't surprise me at all that the one in the academia is a fake.
Do you have any connection with the Temple of Silence?
I do. I trust you're all aware of the spirit that gives me my power. Hermanubis, the original founder of the Temple of Silence.
Yeah.
Due to my unique constitution, I was put through a number of trials in the desert when I was younger. Later, I met the professor, and he brought me to Sumeru City.
Okay.
But my memory of that time is hazy. I can't recall much. It's a good thing that Kaveh noticed the emblem on the letter. Without that, I don't know if we would have connected the dots and realized there was more to this case than mere extortion. I did not recognize that symbol at all. Whether that's because I've never seen it,
Really?
or because my memory fails me, it's hard to say.
Yeah, you're right. Thank goodness for Kaveh, and for Alhaitham's diligence during his time as acting Grand Sage.
But Cyrus must have recognized it right away, right? Otherwise, he wouldn't have had any qualms about you reporting it. Oh, maybe his connection to the Temple of Silence goes even deeper than yours.
I suspect so too. Professor has never once mentioned the Temple of Silence in conversation. And whenever the conversation turns to Hermanubis and the concept of spirit indwelling, he avoids going into any depth.
Well, speaking of avoiding things, you do realize, don't you, now that we've caught up with you, you're stuck with us for the rest of the way.
By the way, the spirit is referring to is specifically the electric Anubis form that he takes form in whenever he specifically is in his ultimate form. That's the spirit that I'm assuming he's talking about.
I am aware. And I have accepted it. Or rather, I don't see how I could manage to ditch you en route, so I might as well accept that you're coming with me.
That's right. Fact is, we're coming with you whether you like it or not, so the best option now is to try to look out for each other. Ha!
Can't get rid of us.
Fair enough. Then at least let me buy you a drink once we're back in the city.
Works for me. All right, off we go. Let's start by seeing what the guards here can tell us.
Hello.
Mahamatra Cyno?
I'm looking for someone. So I'd like to confirm any recent foot traffic in and out of Aru village.
A man matching that description passed by Aru village not too long ago. He stopped by to load up on food and water and feed his sumpter beast. Then he was on his way.
Where was he going?
Let me think. He took a seat by the entrance of the village for a while, and had a brief chat with the person who came to deliver the water. He said he was
Somewhere near an oasis.
Somewhere near an oasis. But he didn't mention which
Well,
one.
depending on which one.
Do you have a map? I can mark out the direction he was heading.
It could be one of them
best
smaller
routes to
ones, it could be
nearby
the
oasis.
really big one at the top.
I have one.
Or one of them that,
Mark
that he shouldn't have no access to.
Great. There you go.
Thank you so much. You were a great help.
You've got a really good memory.
Ah, you're quite welcome. Just doing my job. Best of luck. I hope you find him soon.
Okay, it's one of the smaller ones then. Also, Cyno didn't recognize the engravings on the paper. I'm a bit surprised by that. They're definitely ow! Flashbang! Ow!
Hold on. I see some people over there.
I was gonna say that until I got oh!
Do you think it's safe to ask them what they know?
Oh shoot! Hey, Septus.
Should be. I'll go.
No. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Huh? Why can't Cyno go talk to them? What difference does it
Notice the one person that looks
Given
different.
my background, appearance, and the way I dress, I might not be the most welcome visitor here. Just in case, it's probably better to let a more neutral party handle things.
I don't think Tighnari is a full-on neutral party though.
Hello there. I hope I'm not interrupting. My friend and I are looking for an elderly man who's gone missing around these parts. Any
Hello,
chance I could ask you
Septus.
a couple of questions?
Oh, a missing person, huh? Sure. What do you want to know?
Oh wow,
I'm just
I can
wondering if
definitely
you've
hear his
seen him.
voice.
Let me give you the details.
I can definitely hear the voice. No.
So, a silver-haired guy in a long robe, culture type with thoughtful eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and he's traveling alone.
I mean, I already knew who the VA is for this guy, but I can definitely hear. I can definitely tell.
He'd stand out like a sore thumb around here.
Yeah, sounds like the kind of guy we'd remember if we saw him.
He's looking behind me.
You don't say. He calling to you.
Uh-oh. That guy's looking our way.
Your friend over there stands out a lot, too.
You think he didn't notice that you're with Cyno, Tighnari?
Hey, aren't you Cyno, the General Mahamatra?
Yes, that's me.
He sounds like Junpei.
Surprised that I recognized you.
It wouldn't be the first.
Oh, this is funny.
Oh, you're the one looking for the old man who's gone missing, aren't you?
I have a bad feeling about this guy.
You don't say.
Someone's on edge. You don't trust me much, do you? No need to hide it. I understand why you're wary of us. Still, you came to us asking for help. Do you want it or not?
I thought you were a group of merchants. Seems I was mistaken.
No, you're not. No, they're definitely not.
Your henchmen don't look like much, but something tells me they put up a better fight than most mercenaries.
Hey, hear that, guys? You're my henchman now.
Suits me, as long as I get paid for it.
Just cut to the chase already. I'm running out of patience.
Alright, alright, alright. Come with me. All of you.
I will say though, he does talk a lot like Claude as well. But no, I can definitely hear the Junpei theory in this voice. I'll go more in depth later. Where are you taking us?
Don't you want to find your friend? A silver-haired, long-robed, culture type with thoughtful eyes? Sounds like there's a whole
Yeah, he sounds a
other
lot
side
more
to
like
Cyrus
he
I
sounds a
don't
lot
know
more like
about.
Claude, if I'll
So
be
you know
honest.
where he is.
Just follow me.
The way, even the way he
I'll take you
talks,
to him.
it's just Claude. The tone, the tone, the way he talks is everything's just Claude. A bit of context here. That is Sethos. English VA is Zeno Robinson, the voice of Junpei Iori from Persona 3 Reload. Not the original voice of Junpei, the new VA for Junpei. Now, here's the thing. I've heard a lot of people say he reminds them of Claude, especially now knowing what weapon he uses thanks to the drip marketing. And the way he does talk, yes, it's extremely like Claude. I could definitely hear Joe doing this character VA, but I can also I can definitely hear Zeno, the Zeno Robinson voice as well, because he sounds very much like Junpei, but the way he talks is very Claude-like. When I first saw this character, I thought he looked like Aigami from Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of Dimensions. But yeah, this guy definitely gives more Claude vibes than Aigami, then. That's for damn sure.
And here.
What? Where are you looking? There's nothing here.
It's an invisible
Please
door.
Step back.
Ooh,
Oh my god, it
something
is.
ground.
God damn it.
What is this enormous building doing here?
And how was it so well hidden? King Deshret's
And who is this
technology?
I got Cosmo that wants to join my...
Wait, so, hold on. Who are you guys really?
Is this
The Temple of Silence.
So you're a member?
Yeah, he is from the Temple of
Good
Silence.
questions. There'll be plenty of time to address them later.
Like, this is if Zeno Robson did like a Claude impression. Which I don't mind. I like Claude a lot. Obviously, Eldegard's my absolute favorite.
This is not what Paimon was expecting to find in the desert, especially not hidden right next to an oasis.
No domain proc either, it's just straight in.
Ooh, Paimon's scared.
It's not the domain thing either.
Cyrus, do you think this is the guy Raka met in the tavern?
Oh yeah, for sure.
What's wrong? Thinking about your professor?
I just hope for your sake you haven't done anything you might regret.
Me too. Hope I haven't done anything to incur your wrath.
So Sethos might know even more about Cyno than Cyno knows about himself then, actually. Is Cyno does remember his time being in the Temple of Silence, which I'm assuming he is a part of the Temple. It's not a domain. Oh, this is so cool. It's like the Kari Bird quest. It's a whole different area. But not domain, but it's domain like, but it's not. That's so interesting to me. But yeah, I'm assuming Sethos knows more about Cyno, because I'm assuming Cyno is also part of the Temple of Silence too. You know, the real Temple of Silence. But if he doesn't remember those times, then Sethos knows more about Cyno than Cyno knows about himself. Yeah, logically, that makes sense, right? Am I reaching here? Yo, look at all these books.